What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Water Cooler Quarterback, where we act like we know things about football. My name is Andrew, and with half the season now behind us, we've still got half the NFL season to look forward to. We've got Week 10 coming up, and even though the Chiefs, Dolphins, Eagles, and Rams are all on their bye weeks, we've still got lots of exciting games to talk about. But before we get into all of that, we of course have got to take a look at the Water Cooler Quarterback Pick'em League. And for a while now, the standings haven't been changing too much. Football Americano is still in first place, though he's only got a one-game lead on Donzie Lee. I'm still chilling in fourth, and with half the season still left to go, I'm pretty confident that I can get up to that top spot. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into some of this week's games. Kicking things off with the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jags, we have got a game between two teams that have each had an extra week to prepare for one another. Both teams are coming off of their bye, and I'd certainly say that the Niners needed it a little bit more than Jacksonville did. After starting the season undefeated, San Fran, of course, has dropped 3 straight games, and a lot of that has to do with injuries to Deebo Samuel and their tackle Trent Williams. And lucky for them, it sounds like Deebo is good to go for this Sunday, and it seems like there's some optimism that Trent Williams will be able to make his return as well. With both of those guys back in the lineup, the Niners have got a much better shot at winning this game. Because if they didn't have them, well, they'd be severely hindered going up against one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. The Jaguars' 5-game win streak is currently the longest in the NFL, and while an extra week of rest is nice, I'm sure they would have liked to keep their momentum going and save their bye week for a later date. Their defense is currently a top 10 unit, they are running and passing the ball at will, and Trevor Lawrence is really coming into his own here in year 3. So between a team that is currently sliding and a team that continues just chugging along, the answer should be pretty obvious as to who we'd pick, right? But do we really expect that San Francisco would drop a 4th straight game? Could Purdy go from undefeated in the regular season to losing back-to-back-to-back-to-back? Look, I think the Niners are the better team overall. On paper, their talent is unmatched throughout the league. However, given recent events and the fact that it's being played in Duval County, I think I'm going to go ahead and give the edge to the Jacksonville Jaguars here. And what a win that would be for Jacksonville, improving to 7-2 on the season, establishing themselves as truly one of the best teams in the AFC. Things will be looking up for the Jaguars if they can win this game. And that brings us to 2 of the other big AFC teams. The Browns are hoping to knock off the top dogs in their division to keep the AFC North competitive. The Baltimore Ravens are currently 2 games ahead of everyone else in their division with an impressive record of 7-2. Lamar Jackson is back to playing like an MVP, Gus Edwards is a touchdown machine, and their defense is holding opposing teams to less than 2 touchdowns a game. They've already played all of their away divisional games, so now the rest of the division has to come into their house in order to try and even things up. And with the way the Ravens have been playing, that's going to be a tough task. Baltimore just destroyed Seattle 37-3, and a few weeks back stomped the Lions with a score of 38-6. That's 2 of the best teams in the NFC, and the Ravens just steamrolled them. So the Browns have got their work cut out for them. And yes, I know that they just held my Cardinals to 58 total yards on 48 plays. And yes, I know that that's 1.2 yards per play. And no, the Cardinals didn't score a single point. But Lamar Jackson is not Clayton Tune. This is a former NFL MVP quarterback we're talking about, not a 5th-round rookie making his first career start. The Browns' defense is great, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep Baltimore down all game long. And their offense, even with Watson back, has been shaky at times. So I've got the Ravens winning this game, but it is a division matchup, and those always get a little strange, so don't count the Browns out. Next, we've got the Detroit Lions taking on the LA Chargers, and this one hits pretty close to home, as it is my girlfriend's team playing against our cat's team. Both teams are in need of a win here. The Lions are only 1 game up against the Vikings, who seem to be putting things together even with a backup quarterback in Josh Dobbs. And the Chargers finally have an opportunity to be over 500 for the first time this season. The Lions are coming off of their bye, and the Chargers are coming off of a win against the Jets where, I'll be honest, they didn't look great. In that game, the Chargers had 6 3-and-outs. And look, I get it. The Jets' defense is really good. But 6 3-and-outs with Justin Herbert at quarterback, 8 total punts all game, that's not good. That's not going to be good enough to keep up with the Lions. The Detroit defense is stout, and their offense is more than capable of putting up points. So I will be picking the Lions in this one, and please don't tell your mother. And finally, I've been waiting 11 months to say this. When the Atlanta Falcons travel to State Farm Stadium to take on the Arizona Cardinals, they'll be facing a different Cardinals team than we have seen thus far. Because under center, it's not number 9, and it ain't number 15. It's number 1. It's number 1. Kyler Murray is back and fully ready to go, making his debut at home in front of the Red Sea. And I'll be honest, I'm not expecting 400 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, okay? It's his first game back in a year. It's going to take a little bit of time. But I mean it when I say I've never been this excited to watch a 1-8 football team. The Cardinals have been scrappy all year long, and while some of the early season magic kind of wore off as we suffered some injuries, we're about to see this team with a truly great quarterback. And how quickly people forget. This is the guy that led the Cardinals to a 7-0 start under Cliff Kingsbury and Steve Keim. Back in 2021, his last full season, he had the second highest completion percentage among all quarterbacks at nearly 70%, second only to Joe Burrow. He was also top 10 in passer rating and QBR, 4th in yards per attempt. He was in MVP conversations. I just cannot wait to see him playing with a proper support system around him. And I'm not talking about his weapons. He's had guys like DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, Hollywood Brown. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about coaching and the general manager actually building a team for him. And we'll be getting James Conner and Michael Wilson back for this game. I think we're in pretty good shape for a win here. Look, I'm not saying that Kyler coming back is going to save the season. I'm not saying that we're going to win enough games to sneak into the wild card and do well in the playoffs. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that the Cardinals season finally begins this weekend. Evaluations can properly start. We can see this team with their actual quarterback and see what works, see what doesn't, and plan for the future. Up until now, it's just been limbo. We haven't been able to really evaluate the team because, well, the key piece is missing. But now that he's back, we can finally start learning what this team is. I hope to see Kyler come back better than ever before, because he has been put through the ringer for the past year and hasn't been able to get on the field to defend himself. I want all the Caleb Williams talk. I want all the Call of Duty jokes. I want all the stuff about his study clauses in his contract to come to an end because of his play. I want to see this guy ball out and shut up all of the naysayers. Rooting for a team without a quarterback is incredibly difficult. And now that he's back, I could not be happier for the Cardinals. Because where a lot of folks want this team to draft a new quarterback in 2024, I think we are more than capable of winning a lot of games with K1. So this is it. Last call. If you want to rock with us, if you want to support Kyler Murray, this is your last opportunity. Because I don't want to hear any of the naysayers a month from now saying, oh man, I forgot how good he was. Oh, he is good. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So either you hop on now and you ride with us, or you don't. And in case it wasn't obvious enough, I'm taking the freaking Cardinals this week. And now it is time for quick picks. Now that we've talked about a handful of the games here in Week 10, let's talk about the rest of them in rapid succession. Colts at Patriots. There's talk that Bill Belichick is coaching for his job over in Germany, and I think that the Colts might send him out with an L. Texans at Bengals. This might be a playoff preview, but the Bengals are on such a tear right now, I've just got to go with Cincy. Saints at Vikings. Josh Dobbs won a game without knowing the names of his O-linemen, so imagine what he can do when he actually has Minnesota's playbook. Packers at Steelers. Oh boy, this battle between factory workers is going to end with the better defense on top, so I'll go Pittsburgh. Titans at Buccaneers. Will Levis versus Baker Mayfield is going to be a great gunslinging matchup, but I think that underrated Titans defense is going to get the win. Giants at Cowboys. What do you think? Commanders at Seahawks. Washington versus Washington, but I think the Seahawks offense just has too many guys for the Commanders to keep up with. Jets at Raiders. This shouldn't even be in prime time, but the Raiders are playing with a purpose now. Broncos at Bills. Denver's slowly getting more and more respectable, but in Buffalo, Josh Allen's got this one. And that is all I've got for you today, folks. Be sure to hit that like button and comment and subscribe, as it does help this channel out so much more than you know. Let me know down below which Week 10 matchups you are most excited for and how you think your team is going to fare. Until next time, my name is Andrew, this is Water Cooler Quarterback, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.